I have no words. I literally have no words right now for how frustrating this stretch of Phillies baseball has been. It's the most uninspired stretch of baseball that I've ever seen from this Phillies team so far. And it's weird too because they brought up on post game that the Phillies starters, what I think in the past week or something like that, they have an ERA around the low threes to below 3. And they have lost majority of those games because the bats haven't done jack shit. You get swept by the Rangers. You get swept by the piss poor Texas Rangers. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You got swept in a 2-game series by the Texas Rangers. I don't know what the issue is with this lineup right now. They just look completely dead. They just look uninspired. They look defeated. They just look disinterested right now. I don't know what it is. Like the dugout, it's completely dead. The ballpark, Citizens Bank Park's completely dead. There's no energy whatsoever. You scored 1 run against the Texas Rangers, and that 1 run was because of the stupid extra inning rule. The stupid ghost runner on second base. Like, are you gotta be kidding me? And it's funny, like even go back to the beginning of the season where we're talking about the lockout and all that crap, where they're saying, "Oh, the Ghost Runner's not going to be back. We're not going to have the Ghost Runner in extra innings anymore." Surprise, surprise! Opening day, they bring back the Ghost Runner. Seriously, it's the dumbest fucking rule in baseball with the Ghost Runner on second base. Only reason the Rangers scored their runs today. Granted, they took advantage of it and the Phillies didn't. Still, it's a very dumb rule, and we're going to play, oh, Brad Hand blew the game. The Phillies offense blew this game. They wasted a brilliant performance by Zack Wheeler. Brilliant. The Phillies had so many runners in scoring position in this game that they were not able to bring home over 7 runners in scoring position in this game. I believe they're 6th for their last at least 40. At least 40 or 45 with runners in scoring position. The offense is just, I know there's a lot of hot and cold hitters in this offense right now, because right now your best hitters this season have been Nick Castellanos, who's batting 307. He had 3 hits in this game. Didi Gregorius, who is batting 288 on the season. Who else? Alec Bohm has been one of your more consistent hitters, but now he's in the leadoff spot today. He went over 5, so that just continues to show how much at the leadoff spot for this team. Anyone who goes into that leadoff spot, they're not going to hit. They're just simply not going to hit. Whoever goes into that leadoff spot, they're going to struggle. They're not going to do anything whatsoever. That's frustrating. Bryce Harper, he goes over 4 today, so even though he did have the MRI yesterday, no changes with the elbow situation. He's going to be remaining the DH for, the time being. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Like, still, I am not overly worried about Bryce Harper because, yes, he did start slow last season as well. And we look at to what he did last year. Started off slow, had the insane second half, which won him the MVP in the National League. We all know Kyle Schwarber, very slow start, over, the beginning of the season for his entire career. He eventually turns it on as, the season goes along. You're 11-14 to start the season. Like, yes, I'm going to keep constantly, stressing. I'm not worried right now, but I just expected a better jump. I didn't expect to be 11-14. That's the thing. I expected at least more oomph. I expected at least more energy or something like that. Because one, it's not being showcased at the ballpark. It's not whatsoever. Granted, you're playing the poorly Texas Rangers. That's not going to draw a crowd whatsoever. Then granted, you're going to have the 4-game series with the New York Mets this weekend, which is going to look completely different at Citizens Bank Park, even though it's most likely going to be overrun by the New York crowd. Most likely because Philadelphia fans don't show up to the games, specifically for the Phillies. But it just doesn't feel like, I'm not bringing this on the fans whatsoever. I'm just trying to point out stuff from the energy standpoint, but it just feels lifeless. It feels so uninspired right now. And that's one of the most frustrating things because there have been and I'm frustrated with these stats as well, because if you go to that 9th inning, specifically for a lot of the hard hits that the Phillies had in this game, Kyle Schwarber had at least a couple of flyouts that died right at the warning track in this game. Rhys Hoskins had a hard line drive that was hit over 105 miles an hour on the exit velocity, and it died right in center field at the warning track. that could be a clear cut case scenario of the balls are dead. The baseball definitely did deaden the balls a little bit. So yeah, maybe if the balls weren't as, probably deadened as they are, maybe that Rhys Hoskins hit in the 9th inning goes over the center field wall, and you're talking about a walk-off home run for a Phillies win. But still, overall, you wasted this performance by Zack Wheeler. And granted, as well, questionable that Joe Girardi decided to take him out of this game so early, even though it was in the 8th inning. He only threw 78 pitches, which was very weird. That also just showed you how much he was dealing and how fast this game was going. This game was going quickly, very quickly. He had 78 pitches in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Joe Girardi decided to yank him, bring in Jose Alvarado. He only pitched 1 pitch to get out of that inning, but still, it just felt odd because Zack Wheeler in his previous couple of starts, he had way more pitches than he had tonight, and Joe Girardi decided to yank him for some reason. I have no idea why. That was just weird. I don't know what the cause was. I don't know why he decided to yank him. Did he just not want him to finish the 8th inning or something? I don't know. I just feel like that's over managing. That is a little bit of over managing by Joe Girardi in that aspect. Your guy's dealing the entire night. He only has 78 pitches. Let him finish the inning, and then you can take him out for the 9th. Just let him finish the 8th. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the reason of why you have to bring in Jose Alvarado. Granted, Jose Alvarado did finish the inning, so at the end of the day, the move doesn't look as terrible. But still, I just find it odd. I find it very odd that Joe Girardi yanked Zack Wheeler in the 8th inning. I just find it completely absurd why he did that. Knievel does his job in the 9th, gets out of it. Phillies had a lot of runners in scoring position today, though. They did. They just did. It's so frustrating. It really is. I'm still not hitting the panic button, but I really expected just a way better jump. And granted, these feelings are also just attributed to, what the Mets are doing right now, how much energy that team has too, making me jealous. But then if you also look at the rest of the National League, because I know the Braves, they aren't off to the best start in the world either. So there's a lot of teams that I know offense is down throughout baseball, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels weird. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find the stats right here. If I go to the standings, actually, look at the NL East. I want to see the NL East right now. The Braves, they're 12-15 right now. Their run differential is a -8. Granted, they did win their last game, but Braves aren't off to that good of a start either. So, and looking at some other teams right now, the Reds, they're just terrible. They're 3-20. The Giants, they're off to a 14-19 start. Looking at some other, I'm trying to see what like other teams that were supposed to be good. Like the Boston Red Sox, they're 10-14 right now. They were a good team last year. The Chicago White Sox, they were 10-13. What other teams right now? Mariners, they're 12-13. So yeah, it's just weird. It's just overly weird right now. But before we get into the rest of this game, everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to TTP Sports. And the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. And if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. It's been a very miserable outcome the past couple of days. So yeah, that's basically the feeling. So yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, so you can get yourself some tickets to the upcoming Phillies Mets series this weekend for a 4-game set. Definitely a deal you can't pass up there. Get yourself some tickets to game 3 and 4 for the Philadelphia Sixers. Definitely can't pass up that deal. To free $20 in your pocket. Use that for parking, use that for concessions, anything you can think of. So use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Phillies, they get swept in the short 2-game set by the Texas Rangers, the terrible Texas Rangers, by a score of 2-1. The ghost runner in the extra innings plays its head, a very ugly head. I despise it a ton because that is just a goddamn stupid rule that baseball created a couple of years ago. And for some reason, they're still hanging on to it. It's just a dumb, stupid rule for some reason that they just can't. They're trying to shorten the game. It's just stupid. And it feels weird too because this is the first extra inning game that the Phillies have had this season. So we really haven't had to experience the ghost runner at all yet this year besides tonight. And it doesn't make me hate it even less. I still despise it. I still despise it a lot. So Zack Wheeler, fantastic today. 7 2/3 innings, 6 hits allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts on 78 pitches. I still don't think he should have been taken out of that 8th inning. I think Joe Girardi in that instance was overmanaging at that point, and it's just, oh boy, it's just I don't know why he got taken out of this game. Because then you also waste a couple of bullpen arms, even though Jose Alvarado only pitched 1 pitch. So I don't think he's going to be, sat down for, tomorrow's game against the Mets. Knebel, he throws 13 pitches in the game in the 9th inning as well. So hopefully he would be available for tomorrow. Brad Hand throws 22. So I'm assuming he's not going to be available for tomorrow. But going over this game, basically, the Phillies do have their chances throughout. Castellanos gets a single in the 1st inning. Nothing happens in that situation. There were a lot of double plays in this game by the Phillies, just ground outs. Phillies in the 2nd inning can't do anything. Phillies in the bottom of the 3rd. Didi Gregorius leads off with a single. Matt Vierling grounds into a double play. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in the 4th. Go into the bottom of the 5th because this is one of the bigger chances for the Phillies to get on the board. JT leads off with a walk. Worked the count. Got the walk. Then Kyle Schwarber works the count. Gets a walk. Then Gene Segura grounds into a double play. JT goes over the 3rd, and then Didi Gregorius grounds at the 1st base, and that ends the inning. No runs scored. No runs scored. When you get the first 2 guys on base, that has happened a couple of times in the past couple of games. The Phillies have really struggled with runners in scoring position over the past week and a half, basically since after the Rocky series going into that Mets series. Since that Mets series, I guess I should say, the Phillies have really struggled with runners in scoring position. They really have. So no runs going on there. Phillies don't do anything in the bottom of the 6th. Vierling does lead off with a walk, but then Bohm grounds into a double play. Nick Castellanos, this close to hitting a home run to right field. Fan interference, turns into a double. It wasn't going to go out of the park regardless, but the fan decided he wanted to catch the ball. So Nick goes over to 2nd base. He's forced to go there because it's a ground rule double rule. And they had to overturn the call because originally it was called a home run on the field. But they went to review it and they called it a home run. Then Bryce Harper swings at the 1st pitch the very next at bat and he flies out. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Phillies. Rhys Hoskins leads off with a walk. Gene Segura get the 2-out single. So you got 2 runners on for Didi Gregorius. Crushed the ball to center field and it died at the warning track. And no runs scored there. Kyle Schwarber also had a fly out as well. That was deep. Died at the warning track. Had a couple of those today. So there's your situation there. Bottom of the 8th for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos got a 2-out hit. Nothing happened there. Harper got robbed for Corey Seager at shortstop. Go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Rhys Hoskins crushed the ball of the center field. Crushed the ball. If I go to one of the stats that was from this game, this was from, I believe it was Todd Zalecki. Yes, it was. This was from Todd Zalecki during that moment. Rhys Hoskins threw his arms up after that long fly out to the warning track in center field. He hit the ball at 105.1 miles an hour with an expected batting average of .930. The ball was crushed. The ball was absolutely crushed, and it died at the warning track. So that is your basic summary of the balls are dead. Because how the hell does a 105 mile an hour exit velocity die? How does it die? But then at the end of the day, if the balls are dead, which they most likely are, you got to find other ways. If the ball don't go boom, use other ways. Get doubles down the line. Hit the ball into the gap. Get extra base hits. Be aggressive on the base paths. Find ways to get hits with runners in scoring position. You don't always have to be the hero at the plate and try to get the gigantic hit for a home run. I know this lineup is built to hit home runs. Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Rhys Hoskins, they're all built to hit home runs. You got to find other ways right now. You do. The home runs will come. Feel like they're trying way too hard to hit the home runs. I'm not sure if they're putting way too much pressure on themselves to do that, but they got to find a way to, to find other ways. Find other ways to score. Kind of getting annoying. Really. It's kind of boiling my blood a little bit. So you go to that top of the 10th inning. Because actually, during the rest of the sequence, too, Kyle Schwarber, he reached on with an infield single with 2 outs. Roman Quinn came on the pinch run for him. He stole second base. And then Gene Segura gets robbed by Bush at the pitcher's mound. Hard hit ball. Bush just really just reached up for the heavens and he caught the ball. Probably would have been a game-winning single if he doesn't make that catch. Ends the inning. And we go to the 10th. Brad Hand comes out, and then the ghost runner is on for the Rangers. Cole Calhoun leads off with an out, which moves over the ghost runner, Garcia, the third base on basically a sacrifice at that point. Garver then walks, and then Brad Hand manages to strike out Solak. Brad Miller, Bamboo Brad Miller. 1-0 count. Honestly, Brad Hand threw a really good pitch. Brad Miller just threw the bat onto it, ended the bat, blooped in the right field, and it drops, and it scores 2 runs. 2 runs because of the ghost runner. My goodness. My goodness. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I just hate the ghost runner. I'm just like, are you serious? After all the hard hit balls that we had in this game, a fucking bloop single in the 10th inning is what scores 2 runs for the Rangers. And that's what it comes back to. You also got to find other ways to score runs. Sometimes bloops work. But then also I want to, point out the question. This is not going to be a knock on Nick Castellanos at all, because this is more just like a bona fide fact more than anything. Does Bryce Harper catch that ball in right field on the Brad Miller bloop? Do you think Bryce Harper catches that? Because honestly, I kind of do think he catches that, because he's faster than Castellanos. He's a better fielder than Castellanos and gets better jumps. Like I said, this is not a knock on Nick Castellanos whatsoever. It's just like a bona fide fact that Bryce Harper is a better fielder than Castellanos, and possibly Bryce Harper would have caught that ball and probably could have ended the inning without allowing a run. Sometimes with the Bryce Harper right now, with being forced to be the DH because of his elbow situation, could be hurting the team right now, especially defensively. Like I said, it's not a knock on Castellanos. He's just not that athletic of an outfielder. He's not that good of an outfielder. Didn't get the best jump. And granted, it was a blooper as well. Wasn't expecting him to catch it. Still, it's definitely something to think about right there. Definitely is. Then you go into the bottom of the 10 for the Phillies. Phillies get their ghost runner on, which is Gene Segura. Didi Gregorius leads off with a strikeout. Odubel Herrera gets pinch hit for Matt Vierling. Grounds out, which moves Segura over to third base. No, actually, the whole situation during that inning, they weren't covering third base. Segura was allowed to steal during Herrera's at bat. And then Gene Segura scores on the Herrera groundouts. And then Alec Boehm, basically trying to protect the plate the entire time, strikes out on a check swing. And it's weird, too, because Michael Barkant sounded like he was trying to blame Boehm for that. And Ricky Bo just shut him up the entire time, basically just trying to describe. Boehm's just really trying to protect the plate in that entire point. It was a 1-2 count. He was trying to protect the plate. So Ricky Bo basically just shut up Michael Barkant in that statement, which I found was kind of funny at that point. But I just don't know what to think. I was like right now, like we're so gutted as a Philadelphia fan base, just with everything going on with the Sixers. My recap will come after this. It just, like, seriously, after last Thursday, when it felt like everything was going right for the city, with the Sixers moving on to round 2, the Eagles had their good, draft day. The Phillies swept the Rockies. Everything felt good. But basically, since then, it's felt like shit. It's felt like shit. My God. My God. Can the light come at the end of the tunnel for this Phillies team? I hope so. Like I said, I'm still not panicking, but at least I would expect a better jump at this point. Like, the boys need to wake up. The boys need to fucking wake up at this point. They just, like, it feels like they have no life. It feels like they're just not, energized. I don't know what it is. Looking at the lineup, Alec Boehm in the leadoff spot. Basically, anyone who goes into that leadoff spot is cursed. 0 for 5 for Alec Boehm. His average drops to 297. Nick Castellanos, fantastic game at the plate after his child was born. 3 for 4. Double and a couple of singles. Batting average up to 307. Bryce Harper goes 0 for 4 in this game. His average is down to 232. He's struggling right now. I'm not worried about Bryce Harper. I know he'll get out of it because he is a professional hitter. He's a 2-time MVP for a reason. But yeah, the early struggles are very frustrating. Rhys Hoskins goes over 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts and a walk. JT Realmuto over 3 with a walk. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 3 with a walk. Roman Quinn, he came on for the pinch run situation. Gene Segura 1 for 4 with a run scored. Didi Gregorius 1 for 4. Matt Vierling over 2. And Odubel Herrera in his lone pitch hit situation is over 1, but he got the RBI on the ground outs. Phillies over 7 runners in scoring position. They left 7 runners stranded on base. Rest of the pitchers, Jose Alvarado did his job, got 1 pitch, got 1 out. That's basically all he needed. Corey Knebel does his job in the 9th inning, got a strikeout on 13 pitches. I'm not going to blame this entirely on Brad Hand. It's the ghost runner, and it was a lucky hit by Brad Miller. Yeah, it's 2 runs there. I blame the offense for him tonight because Zack Wheeler pitched you a gem, and you should have won this ball game. You just basically should have won this ball game. It's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. Definitely is. So I want to look at this, stretch for the Phillies so far. So they started the season, won 3 out of the first 4 games, lost 4 in a row. They're just, it looks like right now this team goes on stretches of winning. They go on stretches of losing. They'll win, 3 or 4 games in a row. They'll lose 3 or 4 games in a row. They'll win 3 or, 2-3. They'll lose 2-3 in a row. Feels like that's what it is right now until you go on a real stretch where you win maybe 5-6 in a row. You lose 1 game, then you go right back to winning. This team needs to figure it out right now. The schedule just doesn't get any easier because this was your easiest part of the schedule this month. This was your easiest part of the schedule this month. 2 games against the Rangers. Then I got 4 games against the Mets, 3 games against the Mariners on the road, 4 games against the Dodgers on the road, 3 games against the Padres at home, and 3 games against the Dodgers at home. So you're seeing the Dodgers a lot in a little bit of a span. Then you're going on the road to see the Mets and the Braves. 4 games against the Mets, 4 games against the Braves, 3 against the Mets. And then you get to play the Giants at home and the Angels. So yeah, your schedule doesn't get any much easier. Gotta wake up. I'm not worried. I'm just frustrated and disappointed. That's all I am. That's all I am. Hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel. I see, channel name in the live feed. Always appreciate you being in the live feed, my man. The Manfred man run doesn't count. We got shut out. Basically at that point. Honestly, if you use that logic too, the Rangers wouldn't have scored the runs. Took out Zack way too fast. I honestly agree. I feel like Zack Wheeler should have just finished that 8th inning. I don't know why. Even though at this point it has no implication on the game because Jose Alvarado got 1 out with 1 pitch. But still, it just felt like it was, it just felt like it was overmanaging at that point. Eagles offseason is currently the only positive thing going on for Philadelphia sports. Yeah, honestly, that really is what it feels like right now. The Eagles are doing better things in the offseason by not playing than what the Phillies and the Sixers are doing right now. Tough schedule ahead. Yep, definitely a tough schedule ahead. Knowing we're like, I know this is probably not going to happen, but this would be like classic Phillies to, lose to the bad team and then go on to, beat a couple of good teams in a row. That would be classic Phillies, but right now I'm not guaranteeing anything with the way the team is playing so far. And they got to find a way to get out of this rut. They just do. They look dead in the water right now. They got to find a way to get out of it. They just do. Still, I'm not worried because there are a lot of other teams in this league that are probably going through the same struggles as the Phillies. Teams that were expected to be good that are off the slow starts. They got to find their way out of it, though. This offense has got to find a way to wake up. They got to pick up the pitching because the pitching, honestly, over the past couple of week and a half hasn't been the problem. It's been the bats. Aaron Nola is giving you a couple of good starts in a row. Zack Wheeler is giving you a couple of good starts in a row. Kyle Gibson's going to give you his good and his meh starts. Same thing with Ranger Suarez. Same thing with Zach Eflin. But the pitching really hasn't been the problem so far. It's been bats. It's been the bats overly as a whole thing. So right now, they got to find a way to, at least we aren't, okay, we're not going to, at least we aren't the Reds. The bar is not that low. The bar is definitely not that low. But still. I do think there is light at the end of the tunnel. But it doesn't make it any less frustrating and less disappointing. So, That's going to do it for this video, everyone. We're going to, wrap it up real quickly right here, then come right back to recap the Sixers loss. So definitely stay tuned for that, but don't forget to leave your comments and opinions down in the comment section below. I like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of, and also check out the links for BrodesMedia and all the other stuff that is down in the description. Do not forget to check all that stuff out. Do not forget to drop, hit that subscribe button, like I said at the beginning of the video, and also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And people that are viewing this, stream right now, I'm going to end it real quickly and definitely just join back up when I'm going to do my Sixers recap. That's going to happen in the next few minutes or so. So just hang around right here. If you want to go wait on the Sixers feed, definitely go do that right now. And I will see you in a couple of minutes.